Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you are having a wonderful morning so far. My name is Carly Bell, and I love to do machine embroidery tutorials. We usually get together once a month for a live tutorial from start to finish that we call Sip and Stitch. I got my coffee, except this month we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to take a break from machine embroidery, and we're going to try out another craft that I love to do that I don't do enough. But when I am in a time crunch, like I am right now with Christmas being next week, I have a lot of presents that I need to make. And an option for some quicker presents sometimes is sublimation. So we're going to be playing with sublimation today, and specifically how to sublimate skinny 20-ounce tumblers. So I finally invested in a tumbler press earlier this year on one of the Amazon Prime days. They had a tumbler press I've been having my eyes on for like 3 years. It was on sale, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm doing it. I'm getting it. So I got it, and I've been playing with it, and it's so much easier than my previous method for doing tumblers, which I'll tell you about. But that's what we're doing today. So hi, everyone. I see a bunch of people in the chat. Cindy, Norma, Patty, Jenny, Sherry, Marina. Hello. I hope y'all are all doing good. I got my Christmas attire on. If you like, we made this Merry applique sweatshirt last year in my Sip and Stitch holiday workshop. Was a really fun project. And we did this on my PE 800 smaller embroidery machine, which only has a max embroidery field of 5x7, but there's a multi-positionable hoop that you can use on that machine. So you can get, I did this as a almost like 10 inches across, I think. So I was able to do that on my small machine. So we did that last year in the Sip and Stitch workshop. And then my earrings are freestanding lace, and we added some rhinestones to it. I don't know if you could see it there. We made this in my, now the camera's going to be fuzzy, VIP membership group. Come on, camera. Work funny. We made this in the VIP membership group last month as we do a monthly project and Zoom class in there. And this was our November Zoom class. And I'm excited because the December Zoom class we're going to do after Christmas, but we're making an in the hoop stuffed animal. In the hoop snowman stuffed animal, stuffy thing. So my girls are going to be really excited about that. So I'll be working on that soon. That's going to be right after Christmas. Oh, yay. Norma said she is wearing her Merry shirt that she made last year in the Sip and Stitch holiday workshop. She's going to wear it on Christmas Day. So maybe we could be twinsies. Norma will have to take pictures of ourselves and then Photoshop them together so that we could be matchy-matchy. Yay. So yeah, Patty says she loves the rhinestone. So I want to say that was Marina's idea. We're in the Zoom class. The original design had little satin stitching ornaments going all around the reef, and we were going to do that in all different color threads. And then she had the genius idea, what if we did rhinestones instead of the thread? So I love doing the live Zoom classes with y'all because we feed off of each other and we have so much fun. So I busted out my rhinestone gun and we did that in class, and it was so much fun. So I'm excited to wear these for this Christmas as well. What else is going on? If you are needing some last minute embroidery Christmas projects, I did a free class on Sewing Machines Plus YouTube channel. I have a post on it on my website. If you just go to carlybell.com and you'll scroll and see the Sewing Machines Plus section. We did these in the hoop quilted mug rugs, and these can be personalized. So my examples here are plain, but in the class I show you how to personalize them. So if you need some last minute gifts, these make great gifts. And at the Dollar Tree, they have these cute little wooden baskets, and the mug rugs fit in them perfectly. So it makes a nice little gift, and you can wrap a ribbon around it and boom, you're good to go. So yay. All right. So today, talking about sublimation. Anything else I was supposed to tell y'all? I think that's it. Y'all excited for Christmas? I'm I'm excited, but I'm terrified at the same time because I'm not ready. I literally spent like hours here in my craft room yesterday making teacher gifts. And oh, where's my phone? Okay, let's see if I can show you a picture on my phone. I made teacher gifts, and I've been wanting to sew bags. Like I watch all these videos on how to sew these cute little bags and purses. And I have a nice semi-industrial Juki sewing machine, and I got all the materials. I just don't sit down and do it very often. Well, finally yesterday, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. Both of Elise's teachers are big Disney fans, and I had this cute Disney vinyl I bought a long time ago and haven't used. And I'm like, I'm gonna make them some cute little zippered bags. So let's see if you could see the picture. Good. Focus, focus, focus. No, it won't focus. There it is. So they have the Disney vinyl at the bottom and on the back. And then I embroidered on the blue shiny vinyl teacher stuff. And it's going to take a minute to come back. Sorry. The font for stuff I did in the Disney font, and then teacher is just a plain font. But they came out super cute. That's the only picture I took. I'll probably post it on Instagram or something later so y'all could see it better. I was very proud of myself. It just only took about like 5 hours to make 2 bags. So it probably wasn't the best use of my time, but I really wanted to make them something nice. And then I put together goodie bags for all the kids. But I love making those kinds of things. I just get overwhelmed because I'm the procrastinator, and I'm going to wait until the night before I need to give the gift to make it. So don't be like me. Make things more ahead of time. So we're making sublimation tumblers today. It is still time before Christmas, so I am making a few today. So I'm not making them on Christmas Eve. So yay for me. But let's talk about sublimation. So I've done videos on sublimation before. Here's where things have changed. When I first got into sublimation, I bought a printer that was not a sublimation printer, and I converted a normal Epson EcoTank printer into a sublimation printer. And years ago, it was a little more complicated. And then because you would use like special syringes to inject the ink into a normal printer. But when Epson came out with the EcoTank printers, it's literally like it comes with a whole bottle of ink, and it has a special nozzle, and you just put it upside down, you fit it in the spot, and it drains. So instead of putting the ink that came with the printer, I bought sublimation ink that had the same nozzles and could fit in that printer. It was great, but I don't use sublimation all the time. And the problem I had with that printer was because I wasn't using it on a weekly basis and running it and letting the ink go through the lines and stuff, what was in the lines dried up. And every time I did try to print something, it had lines on it on the page. And I did every kind of washing, head cleaning, nozzle checks, power washing, purge sheets, everything you could think of. Nothing was fixing that printer. So I gave up. And right when I gave up, luckily, was the time that Brother finally decided to get on the bandwagon and produce their own sublimation printer. And Brother has been making printers forever, just like they've been making sewing and embroidery machines. They're a leader in the printer world. I actually have a normal Brother printer downstairs in what's like our little office space that I've had for years. And the thing that I learned about printers that are made for sublimation, like when you buy them on the box, it says this is a sublimation printer, versus some of the home printers that you can convert, is that they are going to have built-in maintenance in the printer. So for people like me who only print sublimation stuff every few months or something, just depends on what's going on. You know, if I'm got something, you know, like I made a bunch of keychains once for dancing, just a project in mind. But for people like me who my printer sits for, you know, I don't go every week printing from it. It has built-in maintenance. So it automatically turns on and runs every, I want to say it's at least every 2 weeks. Because like I'll be sitting at my desk and working at my computer, and all of a sudden the printer comes on. Same thing with my Print Moda fabric printer from Brother. It just automatically turns on and runs a maintenance cycle. So that's what I've learned from coming from making the Epson into a sublimation printer versus buying a sublimation printer that it's good to go, where it has built-in maintenance. It's not, the lines are not going to dry up. You're not going to get messed up prints when you don't use it. So I have a Brother sublimation printer now, and I love it because of that. And the quality is good, and I've made some things with it. And I've had it for, I think I've had it over a year now, and no trouble whatsoever. So that's what we're going to be using today, is the Brother sublimation printer. Then when I first got started with sublimation, I just had my normal flat heat press. And I bought a convection oven. That's, I guess, like a toaster oven type thing. Because I saw that for anything that's not flat that you want to sublimate, you can put in a convection oven. And I tried that method, and it's not fun at all. And so I stopped making tumblers because it was such a pain in the butt to get the pressure just right. And I'm going to show you that when we wrap the tumblers with the sublimation paper. So that's what drove me to finally break down and buy a tumbler press. So I don't know if, let's see, I got a different camera set up today. So this is the tumbler press that I got. It's PYD Life. I've been looking at it for years. I watched tons of reviews on it. I bought the cheapest option that you can get. I think for Prime Day, it was on sale for $99. I think now it's more like $120-ish, or I've seen it go up to like $170. But watch it because it goes on sale. And it only came with one heating element right here. But the beautiful thing about it is you can add on heating elements and buy multiples, and they have this pin system. So these little black screws come undone, and you undo the pin piece, which you can't see right now, and remove it, and then you can put a new one on. And they come in different shapes and sizes depending on the types of cups that you want to sublimate. So they have options of this heat press where it comes with those, I guess you could call them sleeves, comes with multiple options. But if you're like me and you're pretty sure you just want to do the skinny tumblers, just get the cheapest option. And then later on, if you really get into this and you're like, okay, I want to do the more tapered tumblers or the big 40-ounce ones or something else, you can just purchase those add-on sleeves later. So this is what I got, that's special and different for today compared to other sublimation videos that we've done where we've just done flat things. Now we're going to do the tumbler. All right, I'm sorry, I've been ignoring the, not ignoring, but I can't read the chat while I talk because I can't do two things at one time. All right, so any questions about the Brother printer or the PYD Life tumbler press? Okay, Norma has a good opinion on her experience with both. She says she uses the tumbler press, but she loves the sublimation oven better because you can put different size sublimation blanks in it. So yes, that is definitely one of the pros of the sublimation oven versus a sublimation press. The sublimation oven, you can put anything in it, any shape, and as long as the size fits in it. So if you have really random shaped cups, like you see like this, my coffee mug, it like goes in and then it goes out. And then like some of the Stanley cups, you know, have different shapes, different types of mugs. I've seen people do plates. You can put a plate in there. The only thing with the oven is that you have to make sure whatever the whole process with sublimation is you print it out on a special piece of sublimation paper. And then you are going to tape this onto the item you want to sublimate. And that taping process and that wrapping process is where it has to be really good in order for your transfer to work in the sublimation oven. But they came out with some things to help that process. So I can tell you about those if you're more interested in the oven versus the press like I'm showing today. One thing I looked at, and I never tried it because I think in my head, I'm like, the press is going to be so much easier. I'm doing that. But they make these shrink wrap sleeves for cups or different items. And it literally comes, like a sleeve, and you put the item in it, and then you use a heat gun, and it shrinks and almost like vacuum seals to whatever it is that you're sublimating. So you tape your transfer on there. You put it in the sleeve, you use a heat gun, it shrinks it down. So now you got that tight pressure that you need. Then you put it in the sublimation oven. So that's an option for the ovens. And then, any shape and size, as long as it fits in the oven, you can do it. Whereas the press, you buy the accessories to go along with what you're doing. Okay, Norma has a good question. Says, does the Brother printer use cartridges or bottles of ink? It uses cartridges, and the Brother cartridges are not super expensive. Same like with my print mode. I want to say $20 to $30 a cart per color. So like a normal printer. So the Sublimation ink, like versus Sawgrass, is another sublimation printer company. They specialize in sublimation printers. Their ink refills, I want to say, are on the price point around $80 per color. So definitely not as expensive as Sawgrass, but they are the cartridges. They're super easy. I haven't had to replace mine yet. So they last a decent amount of time. All right. Oh yeah, Norma says, so just like putting some shrink wrap on a gift basket. Yes, just like that. All right, so we've gone over the printer. I don't have, the printer's over there. It's got stuff on it. Y'all don't want to, it looks like a normal printer. So when you get it and you unbox it, it's literally just like a normal printer. You're going to take it out the box. You're going to install the little ink cartridges, which are super easy. They just click and go in. The printer is going to come with a small pack of sublimation paper, and you plug it in, you hook it up to your Wi-Fi network in your house. You can print from your computer just like you would print from any other printer. And that's it. So the printer, super easy, straightforward. Use it just like any other printer. The special things about it is it comes with special sublimation ink, and it comes with special sublimation paper. When you run out of paper and you need to buy more, you can buy the Brother brand. I had no problems with it whatsoever, but I had this pack already from my first sublimation printer, and this is a sublimation paper. It comes in several different types of grams. This is the one I got, 125. I think it comes in 120 as well. The size is normal, 8.5 by 11. I believe the printer can also print legal size, so 8.5 by 14, and you can buy 8.5 by 14 sublimation paper. So paper comes with the printer, but when you need more, you can get this on Amazon. You can also get the Brother sublimation paper as well. When you run out of ink, you are going to buy the special Brother sublimation ink cartridges that fit perfectly in your printer. All right. So next, we got the printer, we got the ink. Some other things that you are going to need are heat resistant tape. I got this on Amazon along with the little tape dispenser that fits the big, I guess, 3-inch rolls. So you are going to want some heat resistant tape. This is what you're going to tape your items up with. It's like it says, it's heat resistant. You are also going to need butcher paper. I bought a giant roll from Sam's. It's in my corner over there. I went ahead and cut up some pieces. Every time you sublimate, sublimation, it changes from a solid to a gas, and it expands and it goes in every which way direction. Okay. And just because the ink is on this side, the paper, doesn't mean it can't go through the paper and go the opposite way. So same thing when doing shirts or anything else with sublimation. You always want to protect everything around it. So when I sublimate shirts, I put a piece of butcher paper on the inside the shirt, underneath it, and I put a piece of butcher paper on top. So like say the design is going on top of my shirt, I then put a piece of butcher paper this way too. So the butcher paper is going to block those gases from expanding beyond. So this is kind of your blocking. Now, with that said, it is going to absorb some of that gas, which is going to turn into your design. So as soon as I use it, I throw it away. This is not a reusable thing. So as soon as you sublimate something and you're using this as your blocking sandwich, throw it away and get you a new piece. That's why the big handy dandy roll of butcher paper comes in handy. So I got some pieces of butcher paper. We're going to wrap around our tumbler before we press it. I got that cut. Okay, so tape, butcher paper. I've shown you the press. So really, other than that, gloves, heat resistant gloves. These came with a curling iron that I bought. So you go look in your bathroom where you keep your curling irons and flat irons. You may have some of these already. But you want some kind of heat resistant glove, because when this comes out of the tumbler press or the oven, whatever it is you're pressing, it's very, very hot and you don't want to burn yourself. So heat resistant gloves, very, very handy. I'm trying to think, make sure I'm remembering everything. Other than that, cleaning stuff. So like I have a box of alcohol wipes, and I also have a lint roller, because that's helpful. You want to make sure anything that you're sublimating is good and clean and lint free. Make sure you don't have no oils from your fingers, like leaving fingerprints on it as well, that it's all clean before you start. Okay, I think that's it. So now the biggest thing is the designs. Like what are we going to put on the items? So I'm going to show you my favorite place where I get designs from. So let's see how I'm going to do this. All right, it's going to look crazy for a second. All right, so Creative Fabrica. Let's go to their homepage. I've been a member of this for years. I have their all access subscription. It's only $3.99 a month. But you just go ahead and buy a year in advance. So, and this used to be $30 a month. When I first started with Creative Fabrica, it was $30 a month, and they gave me a discount to make it $20 a month. Now it's only $4 a month. So you just pay $47 one time. And when I tell you all access, you get access to everything on this website, and they have literally everything. So if you are like me and you do all kinds of crafting, you do printing, you do sublimation, you do embroidery. I like to make graphics on the computer that I can then print and put on something, or I just put on my Instagram and Facebook, like cute things. These are all fonts that can be used on your computer. They have, if you have a laser, they have 3D cut files. Then they have tons of embroidery, knitting, they have sewing patterns. And then they have this new stuff where like you can create your own image through AI. It's amazing the kind of stuff that they can do. Anywho, simple thing. Just go here and type skinny tumbler wrap. And you are going to see a million different tumbler designs that you can then print on your sublimation printer and then heat press onto a sublimation tumbler. So how cool is that, right? So I have printed a couple of these. I've also so one thing to say about Creative Fabrica is everything on here, they make I think they do a really good job to make sure there's no copyright infringement. So you are not going to find Disney stuff. You're not going to find NFL or college. You're not going to find any cartoon characters that are licensed, any of that stuff. So you can feel safe, I would say, especially if you start selling these, that any design that you print, you have the commercial rights to it to be able to print these on cups and sell your cups. Nothing to worry about. With that said, my kids, they like certain things. And so when I want to make my kid a cup and I'm not selling it, then I go to Etsy. I was looking for ideas here in Etsy. But with, like, Elise loves Stitch. And I'm not going to find Stitch on Creative Fabrica. But in Etsy, if I go to Stitch Tumbler Wrap, I'm going to find all of this stuff. And I can print these and have these for personal use. So lots of cute ideas. So if you can't find exactly what you're looking for on Creative Fabrica, then Etsy is also a great source to find. And all you're getting is a PNG file. So this is just like a picture file. It should be the size and everything ready to go so that when you print it out, you just trim it and it's the perfect size for the 20-ounce tumbler. So just read. And then a lot of the designs that I printed or I downloaded, they came with two pictures. One had the straight edge and one had the tapered edge. So if you're doing more like the 20-ounce like Yeti kind of tumbler that kind of tapers in as it goes down, they have a tapered option that came with each of the designs. So that is something you can look for as well. So just make sure, you know, I like to put skinny tumbler, or you can even put 20-ounce skinny tumbler in your search so that you know you're going to get the design that is going to fit the cup that you're trying to press. All right. So yeah, Norma says she loves Creative Fabrica. I use it all the time. And then, like, even I was this cup, which we're going to press in a minute, I was looking for something funny that was like mom related to give to some of my girlfriends, my mom friends. And so I couldn't find, I just did mom tumbler search in Creative Fabrica. And then I was like, okay, let me go to Etsy. So I'll go to Etsy and I searched mom tumbler. And it said, they had one that said Overstimulated Moms Club. And I laughed my butt off. I was like, oh, this is perfect. And then I almost bought it. And then I was like, okay, let me go look and see if Creative Fabrica. So that I put in my search bar Overstimulated Moms Club, and then a bunch of stuff came out. So then I still got my tumbler wrap design, but it was free because I already have the membership with Creative Fabrica. So I do that sometimes too. Like if I find something on Etsy that's not licensed, and I'm like, oh, that's cute, Creative Fabrica probably has it. So I go back and forth a lot between them too. All right, so design. So that's where you can get pre-made designs, like really ready to go. After a while, I'm going to show you how you can create your own designs. Okay, so we will get into that because I made one for Elise, but I haven't printed it out yet. But I'm going to show it to y'all that I made on Canva, which is a free online program. And I can print it on my Sublimation printer and then wrap it around. Okay, what's next? Next, let's talk about the tumblers themselves. If I made an Amazon shop where when you click on it, I put everything, it's like a list of everything sublimation. So it's like a whole sublimation category. And when you click on it, you'll see the printer, you'll see the tumbler press, you'll see the tape dispenser, the gloves, the paper, like all that stuff. But then I went ahead and did like a massive search for all of the cute sublimation blanks. So sublimation is specific that, you know, we're using special ink, we're using special paper. We also have to use special items to transfer it to. For instance, for clothing, polyester can absorb the sublimation ink really, really well. Cotton does not. So when I do shirts, I get shirts that have a high polyester percentage in it. And the higher the polyester percentage, the more bright and vibrant your colors will be. So for example, here is a shirt I made. I made this for Elise when I first got the printer, but now it's too small for her. This is a Sublimation shirt. I actually got it from AJ Blanks. Y'all know Angela Jasmina. She has an awesome YouTube channel all about embroidery and her whole blanks business that she has. So she makes, I usually like her shirts for embroidery blanks, but she also started selling sublimation blanks. And so we have this cute little girl shirt. It's the same style as her embroidery runs with the puff sleeves and the ruffled bottom, but I think it's like 100%. Yeah, it's 100% polyester. So when I heat pressed this sublimation design onto it, the fabric took the sublimation ink really well, and it like absorbs it into the fibers of the fabric. So there's no transfer feeling of vinyl or anything like that on top. Like it's in the fibers of the shirt itself. And when the shirt has a lower polyester percentage, the colors may look more faded, but I like that too because it looks like a little bit more of a vintage look. But the higher the count, the brighter and more vibrant the colors. So that's how shirts work. Usually with other sublimation blanks, they have a special polyester coating on the item. So it really takes the sublimation ink and transfers really, really brightly. So like here's one, here's a snowman, one I just did this morning. And here's my cheerleader one we're going to redo. But you see like how bright and pretty the colors are versus we started with just a plain white sublimation tumbler. So this is what I have. So in that Amazon shop, you will find sublimation tumblers. I put all shapes and sizes on there. The same company that makes my heat press, PYD Life, they make tons of sublimation blanks. Coffee mugs, tumblers, keychains, ornaments, like all pillowcases, all kinds of fun stuff. So I have a whole resource for you of fun things that you can sublimate in that Amazon shop. And I have a link for that, I think down below, definitely on the Sip and Stitch homepage, which has all the info on today's video. So something I just bought this week and I haven't played with it yet. My girls got Stanleys from my cousin for Christmas last weekend. We had our family Christmas party over there. And they make these cute little, they're like, they're meant to be nameplates. And they fit perfectly. I don't have a Stanley up here, but they fit perfectly in the lid of the cup where the straw goes through, and it like on the Stanley, they have like a raised lid around it. It fits perfectly in there. So I bought these off of Amazon, and they are, it almost feels like press board. That's probably like 1/8 of an inch thick. Yeah. And it has that spray polyester coating white on top so that it can accept the sublimation ink. So I can print little rectangle designs on my printer and then just tape the paper right on top. And this I can heat press with my regular flat heat press and put like Elise's name with like glitter sparkles or some kind of background design on it. So I want to play with these too. These are going to be fun, and these make good gifts too, especially like if you're given a Stanley as a gift, you can get these and personalize the little nameplate to fit on top. So sublimation blanks are special. You can't just sublimate anything, but there are tons of things that you can sublimate. And I know people, they have videos on YouTube of all the fun, inexpensive things that accept sublimation that they sell at the Dollar Tree. Lots of stuff. There's, and then now that sublimation has become so big, they have, all the craft stores have a whole section of sublimation blanks. But you can, do your research. Amazon is a great resource as well. And in that shop, you'll see all the fun stuff that you can sublimate. So these tumblers are sublimation tumblers. I actually bought them a few years ago from a local company here in Louisiana, but unfortunately they shut down. I want to say last year. They had it was horrible. They were called parish tumblers. My friend who made those pretty glitter epoxy cups, she told me about them because she would get stuff from there. I think they were based like out of Lafayette or something. Anyway, they had a warehouse, like they had a big piece of land and had a warehouse, and it caught on fire and they lost everything. So unfortunately they shut down. But before that, I bought a whole case of like 40 sublimation tumblers from them, and I still have them and I'm still using them. But PYD Life has great sublimation tumblers along with a bunch of other people on Amazon. I think roughly, I want to say the cheapest I've ever seen them is about $7 a piece. So they're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive either, because I know people sell these for $20 a piece, and they paid, $7 for the blank and then a few dollars for ink and paper, and then you could sell them for 20. So it's a good little business if you want to sell some on the side. Patty's saying that she has some sublimation blanks from Hobby Lobby. They have it. I went to Michael's the other day. They have a whole section of sublimation blanks. Cricut makes a bunch of sublimation blanks. I have a different spots in my craft room. They're not all in one place like they probably should be. But I have a whole variety of things. I even bought like a blank puzzle. It looks like just a white puzzle. It's got all the puzzle pieces. They're all connected, and it's got a base underneath it to help hold it all together. But I could sublimate like a family picture onto this puzzle. And then, when it breaks apart, then they got to, the kids or whoever would have to put the puzzle back together. But the different things that they make that can be sublimated is crazy now. I love all the options, but I have lots of them here in my craft room that I have the keychains, the nameplates, the shirts, I have pillowcases, I have that puzzle board, I've done cutting boards, lots of fun. Once you get into it, you're going to learn all the things that you can sublimate. All right, so now let's actually sublimate. That would probably be good, right? So step number 1, get your tumbler. In this case, we're doing tumblers. I made myself a list so I wouldn't forget nothing. Okay, my handy dandy note. Clean the tumbler. Step number 1, clean the tumbler. You can clean it with alcohol wipes or where's it at? My lint roller. And let me tell. So this is a camera looking at my table here. Okay, so sorry if the coloring's not that great, but here's the tumbler. And the only thing with alcohol, you want to take the top off, definitely. With the alcohol wipes, like I'll put my hand inside, you have to make sure it dries all the way before you move on to the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe it, and it doesn't take long to dry. But like some of these tumblers, I noticed some like spots on them that they really like need to be cleaned. You also want to make sure that there's no kind of fuzz, dust, lint. So that's when the lint roller helps just make sure. So that's step number 1, is you want to clean it. All right. Then let's make sure that's fully dry. Then you have your printed sublimation designs. Now, when you print your design, this one, where's the camera? Here. This one, it really doesn't matter. This is a pattern, but the only thing that's directional is the top, right? The rest, it doesn't matter. This one has a wording on it. It says cheerleader. Now, it should look backwards to you, right? It's backwards. You want to mirror image your sublimation design. So if you've ever done vinyl, for heat transfer vinyl, one of the rules is you always have to mirror your image before you send your file to the machine, right? Same with sublimation. You want to mirror the image before you send it to the printer. And I'll tell you why. When I first did this design, I did not mirror it. I forgot. And I pressed it on this cup. And you can see that it's backwards. After I pressed it and I looked at it, I was like, oh, nope, that's definitely backwards. You can't read that at all. So we're going to remake it. I made this for like a little cheerleading fundraiser for Elise, but Abigail has her little best friend, Ellie, is a cheerleader. So I was like, oh, we can make her this, and this will be her Christmas present. So mirror the image when you print it. After you print it, you'll notice this is a normal size sheet of paper, but the image doesn't fit the whole thing because the image is made to fit the tumbler perfectly. So we need to trim it. So you can use scissors to trim this, or even better, if you have a, what do they call these? Like the big paper cutters? I don't know the right name for it. But these are helpful because then you get a really nice straight edge. But I still am not very good at doing this because it never fails. I don't get it just right. So let's see. Ooh, I'm doing good. Okay, so I cut the edge on that one. I'm going to do the other side. Okay. Cut that. You need something? I can't. 2 seconds. 2 seconds? Okay. All right. Putting the lights up, I want to make it right. Okay. Chris needs me in 2 minutes. I'm going to call you. Okay. So I might have to step away, guys. All right. So I'm just trimming this. Okay. So my husband had shoulder surgery last month. And he's doing good, but he can't do a lot of things. He can't lift anything. I just said all day he complains. He's like, it's really hard to do such and such with one arm all day long. Poor baby. I know he's frustrated. So he's trying to do something downstairs and he needs my help. So I might have to step away for a second to help him. But we've trimmed that. And now you'll see from my example, you're going to turn this into this. And it's a lot of tape. It's a lot of tape. And I've tried doing it with less tape, and it never comes out as good as I want it to. So now I want to make sure that I'm putting this on here and it's going in the right direction. Okay. And when I do it, it should fit. Like I have a little bit more paper coming up from the top of the lid here. I can slide it, but the trick here is that you are going to want this as tight as possible. Now we have the heat press and it's going to put a good pressure on there, but I'm going to roll this, get some tape ready. And they have these tools. I thought about buying one, but I haven't done it yet, where it's like a clamp and it will help. It kind of gives you like an extra hand and it will hold things in place while you're doing this taping process. So if any of y'all have one of those clamps, let me know how you like it if you think I should get it. Now with sublimation, depending on the design you're printing, a good sublimation design will have it to where when this seam lines up, it looks seamless. And I'll give you an example. My friend made this design for me. Okay, so this is my Sip and Stitch Squad. I'm going to make this design available for free for all of my VIP membership peoples. We call it the Sip and Stitch Squad VIP membership group. That's the group where we made the cute little wreath earrings I have on with, but we do a fun project every month and I give them a free design every month. So this is going to be one. I'm going to have another design for December, but I want to give this to all of the VIP Sip and Stitch Squad. So if you have a sublimation printer at home, you can go ahead and make you one, but I want you to watch it as I turn. Can you tell where that seam is? You cannot, because when my friend Holly helped me make this design. The seam is actually here, but she made it to where just the glitter is there and the machine or the scissors or anything is not overlapping, so that when it it's sublimated, you couldn't tell where one piece of the page ended and the other one came in. Now, this is an example of one that's not made that way. Here's the snowman I just did this morning. When I turn it, where is it? Here. It's hard to see. You see where that snowflake is and that ornament is? They don't line up. Nothing, you could see that seam. Like nothing there, because the design itself wasn't made to be seamless. But I really like the snowman. And so I did it anyway. But this is what happens when a design is not seamless. So if this is important to you, look at your paper after you print it out and roll it around and see, okay, I could see that this Christmas tree cake is going to line up with this Christmas tree cake. So if I tape it just right around my cup, I have to trim it still, so it's hard to tell. But if I do that, it's going to be seamless when it's on the cup. So when taping, you really don't want to have any, if just a tiny bit or very little overlap when you're putting these together. So I have a very little overlap here, and I'm hoping you won't be able to tell with these stars. It looks like they're going to line up. So if you can have very little to no overlap when you're wrapping your sublimation design around your cup, okay? And you want to get that as tight as possible. And now you're just going to tape away. And so I kind of try it here. So that's one area to really pay attention to when you're picking your design, printing it, and taping it, is where's the seam going to be? Am I going to be able to line it up just right? And getting all this tape on here is going to help make sure everything stays in place nicely. All right, the other problem with some tumblers, and I'm still not perfect at this. This one came out decent, but let's see, this one I didn't do that great. The more tape, I think, will prevent this. So when it comes to the top and the bottom, taping a lot is going to really help with the pressure going around the lip and going around the bottom, because things like this can happen. Can you see that white spot right there? This is called ghosting. So if I go around the bottom of this cup, some spots look great, and then I have some spots that are a little bit lighter right here, a little bit lighter than the rest. I mean, the person you're giving this to is probably not going to notice that, but this is something that people do have trouble with. And on the top too, I could see some spots were a little bit lighter. This one's actually not that bad. One of the first tumblers I did, it was awful. It looked really bad. It was like ghosting. So if it's your first time and you don't want to waste blanks, these things do cost money. Something that you can do is like this snowman one. There's no hard design at the top or the bottom. It's white. So it blends in nicely. So I definitely can't mess up ghosting with this design. Okay, so you can pick something like this for your first few tumblers that you can't mess up, because the top and the bottom of the design is white and it will blend right in. Whereas these, it's a hard glitter at the bottom and the top, and you want it to go fully top to bottom and look nice and solid. So that's what we're redoing this glitter one. So I started with the tape. Okay. Let's see, I'm checking the comments. And, Norma, so the first sublimation video I did, one of the reasons why I was so excited about sublimation was that I could use it in embroidery. And I thought about how I use, small little swatches of fabric to fill applique designs like this, right? And with sublimation, I could buy polyester white fabric and use my sublimation printer to press any design onto that polyester fabric and then use it to fill applique design. So that's what Norma is saying in the comments here. If you sew or you embroider or you applique, you can buy polyester fabric and literally make any kind of fabric you want when you sublimate it. So that was one of the fun things I like about that. And then people, oh, I see Jenny says she likes the blank puzzle sublimation. Yes. And then, oh, people talking about Chris. Thank you. Yes, he is on the road to recovery. He's doing good. He started physical therapy couple weeks ago, and that's been a little rough for him, but he's getting there. I see Patty was saying she had both knees replaced at the same time. Piece of cake. Had her shoulder replaced, and oh, it was terrible. I feel for your husband for sure. Oh no. That's crazy that the knee replacement was a piece of cake, but not the shoulder. Yeah, people, when we go like to the grocery store and stuff, people see him in his special little arm sling, and they're like, "Ooh, been there, done that. Don't want to do it again." Hi, Wendy. Okay, Wendy saying, just joining. What machine are you using, please? So this is a PYD Life tumbler press, and then I'm using a Brother sublimation printer. So that's what we're using. And all the info is in the description below. And then on the Sip and Stitch homepage, I wrote all the information on everything. So I'm taping. You'll notice I'm going right along the seam now, and I'm using my fingernails. Fingernails are important with this, I find, because it's a pain in the butt to get all this tape off when you're done. And it's helpful to have fingernails to get it off and then to make sure these seams are good. So I'm going right in there. All right, and so now we're done with the seam. Okay, and I'm doing this slow because I'm showing all of you. Normally I'm like putting tape everywhere because I want to get this done as quickly as possible because I want to make 10 of them. So I'm going slow, but that's just because I want to make sure y'all see my little process. Okay, so that's the seam. Now we're going to do the top and the bottom, and we're literally going to cover every piece of this with tape. So I get little short pieces of tape. I start here on the rim, and then I take and I press it over and into the cup. So just like over and in. And I'm going to do that going all the way around. And you really just need short little pieces of tape. I've tried doing this where I have them spaced apart, and I think that's where I get the ghosting. So especially with designs like this, where it's got, you know, a design that's all the way to the top and going to be very noticeable, you know, dark colors, whatever the case may be, you want it to tape. Okay. All right, so this one I actually pressed already, and we're going to be taking that off. I think I pressed it. Yeah, I pressed it. Because one thing I was unsure of is after you press it, do you need to take everything off? But the more I've read is you should let it cool down before you try taking everything off. Because I've tried taking some off when it was still really hot, and I, you know, using my special gloves and everything. And I find sometimes the paper would stick to the cup, or the design would pull off. Like little things happened. With that snowman one, I tried peeling it hot, and it had like a lot of residue on it, but I was able to clean most of it with the alcohol wipe. So we're going to see how that other one goes, because that one's been cooling off for like, it's been sitting for like 30 minutes, probably too long. I think what I've read is when it's cool to the touch, then you can rip everything off of it. And that's where it can be a little tedious, especially with the amount of tape I'm putting on here. I've seen people put tape horizontally as well and go. So then maybe you're not using as much tape if you wanted to do something like this one where I put it horizontally and going over. But sometimes I find that tape will peel up because it doesn't have enough. So we'll test it right here. So I put it horizontally, go in, and then wrap it around. And I did it on this one too, but I find it starts peeling up right here because it's not sticking down further enough. Okay, so that's the top is done. And now we're going to do the bottom. Same thing. Little short pieces of tape. And then with my thumb, I kind of bend it over and go. Let's see. DD saying rotator cuff repair on the same shoulder 3 times. Ugh, I feel your pain with that one. That's what Chris keeps freaking out about because he keeps wanting to do stuff around the house, and the physical therapist fussed at him and said, look, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel like you can do stuff. Still don't do it. Because you're going to do something and one of the anchors that they put in his shoulder is going to come out and you're going to have surgery again. So we don't want that to happen. All right, so I'm just taping. Marina says he's probably having a difficult time not being able to golf. Yes, he is. He's having a difficult time not being able to do any of the things he loves because he had surgery right at the opening of duck hunting season, his deer hunting season. His dance group that he dances in for Mardi Gras, they did a Christmas parade. He couldn't do that. He can't drive. He hates me driving. The whole time we're in the car going to the doctor's office, he's like, go there. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why are you parking there? He's lucky I haven't thrown him out the window yet. That's all I could say. So, yep. But it's going to be better. It's going to be better. All right. So I'm just taping. But hopefully he will be recovered enough by Mardi Gras, which is like March 4th this year, to where he can go dance in the parades. We're going to see what the doctor tells him. Because Mardi Gras over here is like a whole month long. The Mardi Gras day is on March 4th, but he's typically marching in parades a good 3 weeks before Mardi Gras every weekend. So we'll see what the doctor says if he can march in the parades, or maybe even just the weekend of Mardi Gras. He needs to wait a few more weeks. We will see. All right, so I know I'm being really extra here. But I want it to be right. And they have like wider pieces of tape you can get. So if you're looking at this and you're like, oh no, they have wider heat resistant tape you can get. So where this is not as much as what you're seeing. Okay, once you have this all really wrapped up and taped, then you're going to take your butcher paper and I'm just going to go ahead. I want to make it to where my seam's in the same spot so I can see it. Okay, I'm just going to use a couple pieces of tape just to hold this in place. All right, and on my heat press, and before you start, you're going to play around with the way the heat press works. Let's see if you can see better here. So they have these turning knobs that allow you to adjust the pressure. This heat press came with, it's supposedly a 20 and 30 ounce tumbler sleeve. And with this 20 ounce tumbler, you pretty much make it as tight as you can go. I bought a smaller sleeve thinking that it might be better, but then it's actually too small because it doesn't, when you put the tumbler in this sleeve, it really, you have to have it like not tightened at all. And then it misses this whole spot. Now, granted, we are going to turn it, so this sleeve could work too. But this one's better for the 17-ounce skinny glass tumblers, which I want to buy because they are so pretty. Yeah, they also have glass tumblers. Super, super cute stuff. Okay, so that's the other. You want to fit it in there first. Make sure you have the pressure where you want it. And I have mine set for 356 degrees for 60 seconds. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it in. I'm going to put it with my, what you call seam, up top, like this. I'm going to slide it in. And remember, this is all really, really hot. So if you want to put your gloves on, you can when you slide it in to make sure. But I'm just barely touching it with my finger. And we're going to close it. And it's a clamp. And it's going to start counting down. So when it counts down to 60 seconds, it's going to beep. And I'm going to open it. And I'm going to turn my tumbler. So it's like that in there right now. And I'm going to turn it to where the seam is on the bottom. And then we're going to press it for another 60 seconds. So while that's going down, I'm going to go ahead and start peeling my 7 million pieces of tape off of this cup. You need me now? How long will it be? 3 seconds. Okay, 3 seconds, guys. I'm going to step away. Ooh, okay. Hopefully I'll be back before this thing goes off. Okay. I got 20 seconds on my thing. That was longer than 3 seconds, but sorry, I'm back. Okay, my mic on. All right. So now we're going to turn it. So I'm just kind of sticking my hand in through the side here. And then going to go again for another 60 seconds. All right. And I'm just peeling tape off of this one I already did. This is my overstimulated mom's club one. What? Did I want to keep them? Mr. Buck wants them. I can text him and he could come get them. Oh, you gave him to Mr. Rowell? Then Mr. Buck will understand. Yeah. Yeah. Where Chris is, we have we've been renovating our house. I can't speak right now because I can't do two things at one time. We've been renovating our house and we're putting some last minute touches on things, including changing our front door and putting some new light fixtures up. So that's what they're doing downstairs. And that's why they needed me to go and make sure it's where I want it to be before they finish. But Chris is supervising, but he still can't supervise because he needs me to tell him where to put things. Okay, anywho. Peeling. You see, where am I? This is camera. Nope, this camera. I'm peeling off the tape off of this one. And trying to get that going. So meanwhile, this is cool. I did put my ironing mat on the table for things like this to sit on because I didn't want it to sit right on my cutting mat and my my craft table because the heat can warp the cutting mat. So pay attention to stuff like that when you're messing with these. And let's see, that's good. I do have one more cup I want to make, but let's get these done so you can see them. I can make that later. So just peeling all the tape, and you can tear the paper as well, like whatever's easier, but you're going to notice things are still going to stick to it even if you peel it. Cool. And it still has this like residue on it, but that's where the alcohol wipe can help. Let's change cameras to this one. Maybe y'all can see a little bit better. Okay, so I'm just tearing the paper off. And so you can go take this to your sink and wash it with some dish soap, and it will help get this residue off, or you can take alcohol swab. But when you peel it off this way, all that tape gets off. Now my seam is not great on this one, but I feel like I don't have the ghosting at the top, definitely. So let me show you a little closer. This one. Okay, so do you see like the residue that's happening? That's the residue. But that happened on my snowman one too. And do you see now how it came off? You see where I stopped wiping right there? So the alcohol wipe, or just taking it to your sink and washing it good with some dish soap. But I like this design because it's kind of, it's not meant to look flat. It's meant to look 3D, like the, almost like a stamp that was painted. Like it's meant to look like it pokes out, but I really like it. So this is cute. Overstimulated Moms Club. This is me and my friends. And so that just needs to be cleaned. And then something that came with my tumblers. Remember I told y'all I bought these tumblers from a local company? They had a bunch of these little cards in the box for you, like after you made them and sold them or gave them as presents. It's a little tumbler care card that says hand wash only, do not soak, not dishwasher safe, not microwave safe, avoid extreme heat. Items are handmade and as such may have small imperfections. Please handle with care. Thank you. So they gave us these to put in the cups if I was selling them or giving them as a gift. I personally have put all of these cups in the dishwasher. They maybe have faded a smidge, but not like dramatically. I am a fan of anything that I can put in the dishwasher. Like those girls got those Stanley cups, and they're so scared they're gonna get messed up because the first water bottles I got Abigail, I put them in the dishwasher and they faded and started peeling because they had the like color almost like spray painted on there, the coating. They messed up, so now I gotta hand wash all that stuff. But I told Abby she's old enough to wash her own dishes. Still hasn't done it yet, but she's definitely old enough to wash her own dishes. All right, so clean this up good, and it's ready. All right, and now this one's still warm, but cool enough to touch. Let's see if this one came out any better. If I don't let it sit as long to cool off. And this is where having nails is helpful because I can scrape all these pieces of tape. Yeah, I'll do better getting them up this way and then peeling it. So, Dee Dee, I saw it in the comments just now. So Dee Dee was asking, is this special tape? Yes, this is heat resistant tape. Oh, and Norma, girl. She says she forgets she has a dishwasher. She hand washes everything every day. No, thank you. No, thank you. I throw everything in the dishwasher that I can. I don't put my knives. I don't put my pots. I don't put special cups. You know, I got my list of things I don't put in the dishwasher. But like Chris, like if we're doing dishes and we have the dishwasher's full and you can't fit any more, but we still have dishes, he'll sit and wash everything and put it on the drying rack, you know. And no, I set the dishwasher to wash, and I have all those dishes in the sink on the side. And as soon as that dishwasher is done, I'll unload it and load it back up again. That's the difference between him and I, which is probably bad on my part, because I know people are always like, don't go to bed with dirty dishes in your sink. No, I'm not that person, unfortunately. I want to be that person, but I am not. I see some white lines in here. I'm hoping that that's all going to come off with the alcohol wipe. Okay. So, okay, MNAP says, have you ever tried sublimation in an oven versus a press? I have. Let me go ahead and turn this off. It's making me hot. I have done the oven, and the oven is cool, but I think I would have liked the oven better if I would have bought those shrink wrap sleeves and a heat gun to make sure the pressure was good. Because one thing I did notice with these cups versus the ones that I've made in the oven is that the colors are a lot more vibrant. And I think that's because the pressure is better. So with the oven, in order to get that good pressure, an option is to get those shrink wrap sleeves. And then that will help create the pressure like the heat press. Okay, let me throw all this away. And then clean this up. Yeah, all these little white lines I was worried about are coming right off. All right, yay, this one's not backwards. The words are going in the right direction. Okay, and I did pretty good on my seam on this one, I have to say. I think I did pretty good. I also feel like I don't have the ghosting. Maybe in some slight spots at the top, but not really. Yeah, this one came out pretty good for me. I'm happy with it. Okay, so let me show you. Where are we? Here. So cheerleader. And see if you could tell where the seam is. Bet you couldn't find it. It is right here. So it goes through this star. So look how nice that lined up. Even when I overlapped it, they lined up. So hopefully the same thing's going to happen when I do this Christmas tree cake one. Those Christmas tree cakes are going to line up just right, and you won't be able to tell where that seam is. And then the glitter really looks like it goes all the way to the bottom and all the way to the top. I don't see any really super obvious ghosting. It looks really, really good. So great Christmas present, birthday presents. See, I made, so Elisa's little cheerleading team was having a fundraiser back in October, and we had to have like gifts for the raffle table, and I made 4 tumblers for the to be some of the prizes for the raffle table. So these work out like for literally everything. And because the designs that they have available, you can customize it to fit any of them. Like I've even seen so for her cheerleading event, it was a Taylor Swift party. So I made a couple cheerleading themed cups, and then I made a few Taylor Swift cups, and those went like hotcakes. Like everybody wanted those. Then I've seen some that look like a can of Pringles. I've seen some that look like a can of beer. Like it looks like the outside of the cup is the can of beer. I've seen some that, you know, look like one of those glitter epoxy cups, but they're sublimated. The designs that they have out there are amazing. And so a ton of them are like ready to go. You print them, you did like we did. But I do want to show you quickly how you can really customize and make one your own. All right. Yay. So Patty's like, that glitter looks unbelievable. It really does. So, and I'm really proud of my seam or seamless design. But yeah, look, looks like real glitter, right? It really does. Okay. All right. So we've made a bunch that were ready to go. Okay. Now let's talk about, I want to make one with maybe the glitter bit, but have like my friend's name right there in cursive, or put your school, you know, if they have a high school or college, they want to put the name of their school on there is common. If you're in a club or a sorority or something like that, you could put the symbols, you could put business logos. And it doesn't say Carly Bell, but that's my Sip and Stitch Squads logo. You could put your business logos. Oh no, I do have Carly Bell on there. Look, you see it? It's right there. So there's Carly Bell all over this thing. So you can make custom ones like this. But the main thing you start with is a blank canvas that is the size that you want it to be. And I looked it up and I have it written down, but it's like around 8 inches or so. Let's see, let me go to, so the program that I use is called Canva. I go to canva.com. I have an account with them, and here it is. I use it to make all kinds of graphics. So you're going to see in a second. I'm going to show you my desktop. Okay, here's my computer. All right, I am signed into Canva, and with this, I use it to make everything. So like this is the little logos for YouTube. You know, I make one every week with whatever project we're doing. I made this for my friend's birthday was this week, and I wanted to make a cute little post with our picture from when we were little. This is the tumbler. So it's, when you get to Canva, you're going to go to, where is it up here? Custom size right here. And you're going to type in 9.35 inches by 8.25 inches. So custom size, here it is, 9.35 inches by 8 point. I had already done that. Let me go back. When you would just type that in here, width and height, but make sure you change your units to inches. Okay, and then type in 9.35 here and 8.25 here, and you're going to create a new design. All right. When it comes up, it's going to be blank. No, sorry, I'm making this complicated. Let's start with a blank. Okay, so now this is the exact size I want. So when I go to save it and print it, it's going to print just like all those other ones that we did from Creative Fabrica. It's going to print the size that you want. With Canva, it comes with like tons of stuff. We're not worried about any of that. All we're going to do is make a pretty background and use the text feature to write a name. So you got a few options. You can go to background and you can find something pretty that they already have here. Notice the ones with the little crown, that you have to have the pro account in order to use that one. So if you look at one that doesn't have the Pro account, you can click that. So that's your first option. You can use something that is already on here and that is free for you to use. Another option is if you go to Creative Fabrica and you just look up glitter, not even tumbler wrap, nothing. You just want pretty glitter looking stuff. Like you have these, this is the one I downloaded. This one has that look of the glitter on the top and the bottom, right? So I downloaded this, and I think it's this one right here I used because I like the glitter at the top and the bottom. If you go to Creative Fabrica and you downloaded that, right here, you can go to upload files, go find it, and put it there. So you can click that. So I'm going to click my lights and hit delete. And now I have this. And I'm going to stretch it. And it's going to be, it's not the same shape. So you have to make it bigger. As long as it needs to fit the width, right? And then you can move it up and down to get it to where you have the same amount of glitter on the top and bottom. So that's how I made a pretty design. And then I can go to text and I'll just do this. And then I can write Carly, enter. Nope, not enter. And I can pick whatever font I want. The ones with the crowns, you have to have the premium account. So just look and see anything that looks pretty. That's pretty. And then you can do effects to it. You can make it neon. You can change colors. Can I make it bold? I don't know if I can make it bold. And then definitely a lot bigger. You can add a shadow. You can do all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to make it really big. And then I'm going to twist it where it goes like that. And put it in the middle. They got all these little guidelines that really help you figure out if you really, there it is. Now it's really in the middle. And I could do that. And that's it. And I could put that on a cup. And then I could come back here and click on this and change it to another friend's name. And I could knock out a whole bunch of cups that look the same, but have a whole bunch of different names on them. This is super popular for like weddings, bridesmaids and stuff like that. You can do that. And then you go to share, download. I would do it as a JPEG. You really don't need to mess with any of this stuff. And then go to download. And it's going to go to my downloads folder on my computer right here. And there it is. And I would click it. And it's ready. So then, remember, because I have wording, I want to make sure it's a mirror image. Yeah. So I would go to File, Print. This isn't right. Is it? Yeah, it's right. Okay. This is my Sublimation printer. It's called Brother SP1. And I would go to Layout. And then maybe I'd go to Flip. Now it's going to be backwards. I think that should print right. And then I can put it on my cup. And when it's done, it will look like it's supposed to look. So hopefully that helped explain pretty quickly how you could take any design and make it into a tumbler design. So you could find a pretty background design or even like those digital papers for scrapbooking, all that kinds of stuff. When doing that though, pay attention to the seam. They have on Creative Fabrica, they have tons of seamless patterns, which I actually use to print fabric because then I can, fill up a whole section and print it on my fabric printer and you can't tell where one bit begins and one bit ends. So pay attention to stuff like that. So I know with that glitter, when it wraps around, it's going to go very nicely. And it's just a solid kind of color on the other side. So you won't be able to tell like where the seam is on the other side of where the name will be. But you can go and play around with that and do all kinds of cute stuff. So you just have to have those dimensions where, what did I say it was? Let me go back to home because I already forgot. 9.35 inches by 8.25 inches. And that's going to give you the perfect thing to print. And then you can wrap it around your cup and you'll have that, just that smidge of overlap when you're once you trim it, smidge of overlap when you're taping it. Okay. Norma says, can you have the Brother printer already set to mirror? I don't know. Don't know. I'll have to ask about that. I can look into that and see. But I know I have definitely printed things that were not mirror image when I didn't do anything to it. But I don't know if you can set it to where it automatically always prints mirror image for you. I think that's usually done in the print settings like I showed you on my computer. So either you make it. So another option would have been every time if it's not a design I'm buying / downloading, but I'm making myself, I can mirror image it in Canva as well. So like if I'm making something and going to print it, let's go back to here. Okay, so we're back in Canva and this is what I want to do. I can click my name and let's see, position. No. I think I can, let me go right click. No. This one, more. I thought there was a way to flip it in here, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it was here. This is a range. This is a line that's moving it. That's the layers. Nope, I'm wrong. I thought we could flip it in here before we even download it, but I don't think I can. I'm just not remembering how I did it. Okay, never mind. But I know in, what's the other programs I've used to print stuff? Silhouette Studio, I can flip. I've done, if you have and use Silhouette Studio and like you're super comfortable with it, you can make bring sublimation things in there too, and then print from that program. I've had my friend Mindy does that a lot when she's printing really large prints that's bigger than what her printer can print. She uses Sublimation, Silhouette Studio to print like 1/2 of the image and then drag it over and print the other half. And I know that you can mirror image in there to make sure before you send it to the printer, it's already flipped and you don't have to do anything in the printer settings. So, but that's a good question, Norma. I will try to remember to look into that for you. All right. Yay, no problem. Merry Christmas to you too, Marina. Okay, let's see. Ooh, Christine has a solution. The Brother has a setting which will automatically mirror the print. It is set by default. Be careful not to double mirror your design. Okay, thank you, Christine. I will look into that and play with my printer and see what I have mine set to, because it definitely didn't mirror my first cheerleading cup when I sent it over there. But the second one is good to go. Where's it at? Here, because I mirrored it. So yeah, maybe I messed up my settings on my printer. I'll have to go and look and see how I can fix it. But I think that's it for today, guys. So we went over the Sublimation printer, the Sublimation tumbler press, the Sublimation tumblers, all the designs that you can get just like ready to go and print out and be done. Or if you like playing with graphics and designing things, and it's super easy. I don't make anything from scratch, really. You know, I still went and got that glitter background design and just choose the font and put it there. You know, my graphic design skills are limited. But if you like playing with that kind of stuff, you can use programs like Canva to make anything you want on a sublimation cup. And you can go pull little graphics from Creative Fabrica. You can pull the free graphics from Canva. You know, if you have a business logo, you have a school logo, all those things, you just drag and drop it in there, put it where you want, and then send it to print. So that's, I think, everything I wanted to go over with you today. So I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you make yourself a bunch of tumblers for yourself and your family and your friends, and to give as gifts for Christmas. Or I hope Santa Claus brings you a tumbler press and a sublimation printer for Christmas so that you can make things next year, and, you know, for all the events all year long. So many things that you can make with it. And then, you know, this is just the tip of the iceberg with sublimation, is the cups, because there are a million things that you can sublimate. And Tina was just saying that she's asking about the polyester fabric. So that's another thing we could sublimate, is fabric. And so then we can create anything we want. And then that can be used in sewing projects, quilting projects, embroidery projects. So as far as a resource for polyester fabric, I literally went to my Joann Fabric and looked at all the plain white fabric they had there, and looked at the end of the bolt where it tells you the material and what it's made from. You can do this at Hobby Lobby as well, or your local quilt shop. I don't have a specific brand or resource. That's what I did. I went to Joann. I felt and played with all the materials. Most of the polyester fabric at Joann was stretch knit cotton. It was, I remember, hard to find something that was like woven cotton, which I would typically use for applique projects. But I did find some that did sublimate well. I did that in my first sublimation video, like 3 years ago, I think it was. I can put a link to it down below after, if you want to see that very first video I did. And there I had a bunch of swatches of different polyester fabrics that I tried, and all just got from Joann. But that's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's and all the other holidays. If you celebrate something different, I hope just the whole end of the year is blessed and good for you. I know that I am blessed, and I am thankful for all of you. I did not imagine myself doing this. If you would have asked me this, you know, I started 7 years ago. Was it 8 years? 7? 8? 7. 7 years ago. If you would have asked me earlier than 7 years ago about me doing this, I would say there's no way. So I am so thankful and grateful for being able to do this and share it with y'all, and have the wonderful crafting community that we have. I love every single bit of it, and I can't wait for all the new and exciting things that we're going to try and do in 2025. We're going to keep making things. We're going to try new things. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And one of the big things is, for me personally, is quilting, because I have a new nephew. I have a little baby boy. I don't know if y'all remember maybe last time we talked, I told y'all Chris's brother was having a baby. He had a little baby. Him and his wife had a little baby boy last week. And we're so excited to meet him. We're going to meet him for Christmas Eve. And I have a baby quilt that I need to make for him. And that's going to be one of my first projects on my list for 2025. And I think I'm going to be sharing how I do it on my Sewing Machines Plus Takeover Tuesday show in January. So I already talked to Blaine about it, because I think it's going to be fun to share on Takeover Tuesday. So stay tuned for that, along with all the other fun things that we're going to do next year. If you have any ideas of things you haven't seen me do yet, and you're interested in learning, please email me. Let me see where I got this thing at. This is my email, hello@carlybell.com. Any comments that you have, any suggestions on projects that you would like to see next year, please email me. Tell me. I love trying new things, and I will probably make mistakes, but so do all of us. So I will show you all the mistakes that I make so that you don't do them. But I love trying things, new things, and I'm excited to expand and do new things in 25. I still haven't convinced my husband to let me get a laser, so I don't think that's happening in 2025, but we could try other projects, more embroidery related and things like that. But yeah, if you have anything that you would like to see in future videos and tutorials, just send me an email and tell me all about it, and I will try. But that's it for today. Yes, happy holidays to everyone. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Please give this video a thumbs up. If Elise was here, she's my what do you call, like, hype lady. She's good at all that stuff. Thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Oh, there's one more thing we need to do. I just remembered. Okay. I have been going live several times this month, not Sip and Stitch related, but Advent calendar related. I have been stocking this box for like over a year. My mother-in-law got it last year, and I was like, I want this. And so I ordered it earlier this year, but it is a Quilter's Advent calendar. I got it from Missouri Star Quilt Company, and Jenny Doan is the owner, and I'm just dipping my toes into quilting, and I'm really excited about it. But this box is great for everyone, any kind of sewing, embroidery, quilting kind of crafter. They got all kinds of good stuff in it. But I've been opening up my presents and going live and showing y'all. And since I'm already live now, we should go ahead and open up day 20 for the box. So let me show you what it looks like. Ugh. It's a big box. It's this big. The stuff is inside of it, so I don't want it to fall out. But this is what it looks like. And then take this off so you can see. Let's take this off so you can see. Okay. So this is the box. This morning I went ahead and put a lot of the things I opened already back in it, just so I could clean off my table so we could do today's video. But every day there's a different package, and the stuff has been so good. I have lots of favorites, but today is the 20th, so we're going to open up day 20. Let's see if I can put this here. All right. Let me show you. It's hard to pick a favorite. But one is this hand embroidery kit. Look, snowflake embroidery kit with the frame, and it came with the wooden frame, everything you need, and even the fabric has the design already printed on it. So like I know right where to do it. So I haven't done hand embroidery before. I always cheat and use a machine. So I'm excited to try this. And then I think my other favorite is, oh, there's a lot of favorites. But there is this pattern and fabric to make this little phone case. So here's the fabric. That was one day's present. All kinds of beautiful fabric. And then it came with this pattern to make a hexy cell phone clutch. So this is like English paper piecing. Again, never done. Very excited to try it. And it came with the hardware to make the little clutch. So they have video instructions. They have a pattern. They came with the little hexy square things, the fabric. I love it. This is one of my favorites. Very excited to make. But all kinds of good stuff. So if you are like loving this and want to see all the other things I opened, if you just look at my YouTube channel, you'll see all the previous days I've gone live and opened up the presents. They're only like 15 minutes long, but you can see each day what I open. All right, where are we at? 20. Day 20. Sounds good. See what we got. This is so cute. This is a sewing machine Lego type set. How adorable is that? And it has a little chuck. A little chuck. Elise is going to steal this from me. My kids love Legos. I love this. So like they have some, like one day I got beautiful little measuring cups. So like there's things that are not necessarily crafting or quilting like usable things. They got lots of great tools and fabrics and things like that. But then they also have like cutesy little stuff like this. I love this. So it's a little Lego sewing machine. It has a little chuck on there. Adorable. So yes, I'm definitely putting this together, and I need to make like a little shelf or something on my pegboard, or I can put it here so that it can go. Oh, it's gonna be cute. Oh, and then some of the other boxes that things came in, they look like a little holiday village. So I've saved my boxes and I put them back here on my table so that I got like a little quilting holiday village going on my table. So I can put my little sewing machine right there too. Yay, I love this. This is cute. And I know Lisa's going to steal it from me. Okay, so I'm glad I remember. I almost forgot to do that. I wanted to show y'all that today. All right, let's see. Any last questions or comments or anything before we sign off for today and sign off for the year? I'll be back. I will come back on Monday. Ooh, we got doctor's appointments on Monday. I don't know what time this is going to happen. Let's see. Chris has an appointment at 11. I got 2:45, and the girls don't have dance. I might go live Tuesday evening, but I'm going to open up all the rest of the presents, I think, on Monday. I'll do the weekend presents, which is 21 and 22, the 23rd, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So they got 25 things in this box. So I'll probably open up all the rest on Monday and go live and show y'all everything else that comes in it. Let's see. So Patty we're talking about back to sublimation. So Patty was saying she hasn't touched her sublimation printer in over a year and just printed something and it looks great. Oh, that's wonderful, Patty. What kind of sublimation printer do you have? Okay, Norma has a question. So what are we doing on the 30th? So that's going to be the Sip and Stitch Squad VIP membership. Our next Zoom class is on Monday, December 30th. And we are going to be making an in the hoop snowman stuffy little cute thing. So I'm gonna have it in multiple sizes so that you can make probably just like a little snowball looking one in a 4x4 hoop, and then probably all the way up to an 8x12 hoop where you can make a large snowman. So that's what we're gonna be doing, and we're gonna be making it with pretty fluffy, my white one's not right here, but I have white like fluffy minky type fabric. So we're going to make, so it's going to be super soft. You can also make it with like fleece or flannel. But that's what we're going to be doing on the 30th. It's going to be super duper cute. Let's see. Ooh, Patty, you are lucky. So Patty has an Epson 2720. I think, what did I have? I had a 2680. I don't remember the numbers, but mine, it clogged up. So you are super lucky that you didn't use yours for a year and it's still working great. Glad for you. That's amazing. Okay. All right. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's sublimation tutorial. I will be back in January. I still have not planned what I'm doing yet. I was supposed to sit down last week and plan out the next few months, but Christmas, crazy procrastination. Is my middle name. So I will be sitting down before the new year and planning out at least the spring so that I know what we're doing. But we will be back in January. January is going to be a little tough though, because I'm going to be gone a lot. I'm going to California. Wait, hold on one second. My computer's not plugged in. But I'm going to California, very excited to go see Blaine at Sewing Machines Plus, and I'm going to be working the Road to California quilt show. And so 2 Fridays I will be gone. The Friday I usually do Sip and Stitch on, I'll be gone. So we might do it at the end of the, let's see, I'm going to be gone the 17th. I'll be gone the 24th. So either I'll have it the 10th if I have my life together, which I doubt, or we'll probably have it late on the, do it January 31st is the last Friday of the month. Probably do that because I know myself and I know I won't have my life together at the very beginning of January. So January will be late, but I do normally shoot for the 3rd Friday of every month to have Sip and Stitch. But that's where the Sip and Stitch homepage comes into play, because that is where I put everything, all the info on what's happening next. I try to update it at least a week before the live video so you could see what I'm doing, what supplies and all that good stuff. And then I usually try to have a schedule for the next few months, so it'll tell you when the next videos will be. And then of course my email newsletter, I update every week. I send an email a week just telling you what's going on, and then especially when's the next live tutorial going to be. So you can always count on that as well. to show you what's going on. So, all right, that's it. I'm gonna go check on Chris now, and hopefully everything is going good downstairs. I'm very excited. I have a new front door. But that's it. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Go make all the things, take pictures, and show me in our Carly Bell Beginner Embroidery Facebook group. I want to see all the fun things that y'all are making for Christmas presents. And if your friends and family are not in that group, you can post them before Christmas, because they're not going to find out. Only we will know. So have a great rest of your Friday and holidays, and I will see y'all next year. Bye, guys.